Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Steel Rain, or Josh from America. As you may know from the Farfel Fiasco. Um, I'm back with another stupid mistake. I guess. Well, actually, the first one was a really stupid mistake, but a stupid situation. I was the one who remoted in the car, or tried to at least. So hi. Um, my request. I have been told to make a deck profile in my car, so here I am. This is the deck I was going to play the YCS. So before I actually get into the video itself or the profile itself, I might as well just get like a background of what happened. So basically, I was on my way to move to my new house, and I was on my way to move to the new house, and then my parents told me, "Oh, you're gonna get home in time for the remote to YCS." So I was like, "All right, that's cool, whatever." So I signed up for it. And then we got stuck in traffic. And I was like, well, we're in traffic and we're only going to be on a highway, so I only have to do this for 4 rounds. So it made sense in my head. You know what? Let's attempt to remote duel for these 4 rounds. It made sense in my head. So I did this setup. I have a mat and binder underneath my mat to give it a stable surface. I had put my deck here. I put my extra deck inside. I think over here or something. I was good to go. And the card's kind of stuck on the mat, like pretty okay enough because it was a cloth mat. I was like, I could probably get away with this for like the first few rounds because that's all I need to do this for. The judge comes and says, you can't do that. And I was like, oh, well, that sucks. So I was dropped from the event. I wasn't DQ'd or banned. Those didn't happen. I was just told you cannot do any of this. So I just got dropped from the event. That's pretty much it, really. There's nothing crazy about it. I just tried to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I wasn't allowed to. It's that simple as that. Anyways, here's the deck I was gonna play. I was going to play Mikanko. Because I got top 8 recently at an online event with the deck, so I was like, I'll bring it for one more see how I do there. But I never actually got to play it, so yeah, I guess. But anyways, here's the extra deck profile. We have 3 copies of Ohime. This is the Mikanko main deck monsters. Playing 3 copies of Huli, 2 copies of Hare, 1 copy of Nini. Ohime is your main starter. You're grabbing a Mikanko monster from deck with this card. You discard a card from hand. Very, very good card. You can also summon it out. You can also cheat it out with the Mikanko quickly spell. Oh my god, it's so hot in here. Jesus. Okay, should I just... Nah, I'm not gonna pull up the AC. Huli is your main like win condition. Basically, if you control an equip card, not even Mikanko cards can be targeted, including the equip spells. So you set this up. You summon Huli and you summon a bunch of other Mikanko monsters. Your partner can't target any of them, and they all just can't be per battle either. And all the equip spells give them like destruction protection. So you basically set up like a dragoon that just can't be killed. So just yeah, pretty good. This card's like your namesake of the deck. It also searches the trap cards, which are your main pieces of interruption. So yeah. You 2 copies of Hare. This card's like fine. It's not the greatest card in the world. It's not the worst card in the world either. You're mostly using this card to grab follow up because once it gets equipped with an equip card, you just add an equip spell from deck to hand. Mikanko equip spell. And you have Nini. This card is like fine. It sucks to draw because you don't really want to draw this. You want to summon it off the trap card from deck. But if you draw it, it's like you won't lose the game, but it's gonna suck. This card's good for interruption because it's just a snatch steal. It doesn't negate effects. So if you take something like a Friender, you just can trigger your opponent's Friender during their turn, which is pretty nice. That's it for the Mikanko monsters. Oh shit. Yeah, that's it for the Mikanko monsters. We have Kaijus now. So all the Mikankos have a battle reflection effect, where like Ghost does, where if they get attacked by something or you attack with them, your opponent takes all the damage you would have taken, and they all have 0 attack. So that's how you're mostly going to be killing your opponent. You're gonna be going second, which is why you're playing 6 Kaijus. We have 2 double Jizz, double Thunder King. I mix those up, and a double Dogoran. These are just the biggest ones. So they're just playing 6 of each. It's simple as that. So basically, if you're able to get the 3 Mikankos plus Kaiju on front side of the field, that's game because that's over 8,000. Now speaking of the Kaijus, we have 3 copies of Mikanko Water Arabesk. This is probably the best equipped spell in the deck, right behind the Mayo Chidori. I don't know how to pronounce that one, but basically what Arabesk does, you can equip it onto a monster, and it bounces the equipped monster to the hand, and it summons a Mikanko monster from your deck. This card works really well with Kaijus because you can basically do what Luna Kaiju does. So you drop a Kaiju on your opponent's side of the field. You go Erebus equip onto the Kaiju. You go declare Erebus. Kaiju gets bounced back to your hand. And you summon a Mikanko from deck, usually Healy. Because now Healy's equipped with an equipped card, your opponent can't target anything, and you just Kaiju them again with the same Kaiju you just bounced. Very, very strong card. This card's like probably the best equipped spell in the deck, besides one more other one. Yeah, very good card. You have one copy of Rondo. Sierra Rondo, by the way. This card's like fine. You don't really want to draw it. It's more for interruption, like in tangent with like Mikanko Rivalry. Or use if you send it to the graveyard with Ohime, you just can equip it onto your opponent's monster. This card's just a snatch steal. That's all you need to know. It's snatch steal, but you can't. But the effects are you can't activate the effects of the monster you take. Then you have. Oh, I guess that's what they meant by you can't play this deck because the cards slide over the place. It's fine. Just put it in the middle. We have a copy of Fire Dance. This card's good. Let's just facilitate OTKs really easily. Jesus Christ, it's so hot in here. You can summon a Mikanko from your hand or graveyard by activating this card, and it equips onto the Mikanko monster, so it's really good for recovery. It also revives an opponent's monster from graveyard. You can choose to revive it. So if your opponent, you can revive like an opponent's Ash Blossom from the graveyard, and you Kaiju over the Ash Blossom in order to actually attack for game. So yeah, this card's really good. This card's very, very versatile. But you only play one because you have ways to recover it. You have your Mirror Orochi. This card's probably the best equipped still right behind Arabesque. It's on field effects like fine. Basically, if a Mikanko monster battles, it bounces the card on the field back to the hand, which is like okay, it's pretty good. But the second effect is the graveyard effect is what that matters, because if it's in the graveyard, you can just revive the Mikanko monster. You can target a Mikanko monster in your graveyard, revive it, and equip this card onto the revived monster. So this card lets you grind really, really well. It's super good for grind game. It just has basically constantly lets you set up Healy Lock really easily, even if your opponent outs your Healy. Copy Purification Dance. This card's like kind of bad, honestly. It's good because it's just a monster. It's just a card you can just equip onto a Mikanko monster, but like it's not the greatest. Basically what it does is if your opponent special summons a monster, it can bounce a monster you control and your opponent a monster your opponent controls back to the hand. It's like fine. It could be better. I'll just say that. But it gets the job done once you start playing one copy of it. Then we have Copy of Ceremony. This is the main card you're searching, usually off Ohime. Basically what it does is that you can summon a Mikanko from your hand, ignore some conditions, so you can summon the Ohime from your hand without having to ritual summon it. And then during the end phase, not during the end phase, you can just banish it from your graveyard to send any Mikanko card from your deck to the graveyard. So let's just set up, let's use set up Almirage lines, let's use that up for like other like plays and to OTK with your opponent. It's just a really good card overall. It's a very, very strong extender. It lets you play through hand traps like Ash and Roll, which are pretty big weaknesses for this deck, which is why we're playing 3 copies of it. I think playing 3 is correct. You can play 2 if you want, but I just personally think 3 is right. Damage your X spells. Extra is like just the best draw card in this deck. You're not playing Prosperity just because you want OTK most of the time. Extra just seems better in most scenarios. 3 copies of Prep, Search of Ohime. Then we have 2 copies of Lightning Storm and the Duster because we're going second, obviously. And we have 1 copy Called by the Grave to stop hand traps because this deck does kind of lose pretty hard to hand traps. Then for the traps, we have 1 copy Rivalry, 1 copy of Promise. Rivalry equips targets a monster in the field if you control Mikanko and equips the card onto it from deck. So you can equip a Rondo from deck to an opponent's monster to take control of it, or you can equip like a Maya Doroshi or Purification Dance to one of your monsters in order to act as extra interruption. Its graveyard effect is also very, very good, where if an opponent equip spell is sent from your field to the graveyard, you can banish them from the graveyard to add any of them back from any equipped spell from your graveyard back to your hand. So this card basically just lets you bring back the Arabesque your opponent got rid of, or the I don't know, like a Maya Doroshi, Meiyo Shidori. So this card's very, very good for recovery. Promise is like fine. This card isn't the greatest. It's okay to draw because basically what it does is that it summons a Mikanko from hand or deck. But then you equip a Mikanko card, you equip any equip spell to that monster from your hand or graveyard. Because it only equips from hand or graveyard, it's like not the most consistent card. You usually be somebody needy off this. It's like fine. You don't really need to play it. I think it's good enough to play where like it's pretty nice in grind game, but overall it's like meh. Rivalry is the card you're gonna be usually searching off healing most of the time anyways, so it doesn't really matter. The final 3 cards in our deck are 3 copies evenly matched. We're going second. Just evenly is crazy. Then for this extra deck, we have 3 copies of Almirage. This card lets you combo with certain hands where you have like a pretty brick hand. You can just normal spin a Mikanko, link it to Almirage, and you have like a Mayo in graveyard, or if you have a Fire Dance in hand, you can just revive it so you can get to your Healy lock or loop. This is why you play 3 of it. Also because you're playing Extravagance. I'll copy a Linkaribo for Healy lock. Then we have Charmers. One of Lina, one of Hida, one of Area, one of Win. The Win and Area should be like Barricade Board Blocker and like Leviar, but I don't have those, so we're not playing them. Hita and Lina are just the best ones to have, just because your opponent usually has Ashen Graveyard, and Lina is really easy to make with the Kaijus. So is Hita because you're playing Dogon, which is Fire. Then we have the IP Nightmare, and then we have just a bunch of Nightmares. These are just generic removal tools. Unicorn, IP into Unicorn is pretty good interruption, which is why I'm playing it. As you can tell, you don't really go into Shrig often with this deck. Then we have Break Sword, which is a good rank 3 to make. We have Dampier, which is pretty good in this deck. So basically, you can use a level 6. You can treat a monster. You took control of your opponent as level 6. So you can overlay this with on top of the Ohime. You can basically use a monster you took and Ohime and make this. And then this basically gets rid of a card and pops it on field or something and whatnot. It's just a really good removal spell. And then you have a Guy Charger to overlay on top of it because of the rank 6. And then you have Zeus, of course. So yeah, it's just like, it's very standard. Then we have the side deck. Oh my god, it's so hot in here. Oh my god. Jeez, okay. Side deck for monster, we have 3 copies of Bell, 3 copies of Nib. The Bell could be Bistals. The only reason we're playing Bell over Bistals right now is because Bell does seem to have a better matchup spread compared to the Bistals. But Bistals work really well with Arabisk, specifically Magnamut, because you can go Magnamut, activate the effect, then you go Arabisk, equip onto the Magnamut, and the Arabisk effect, bounce the Magnamut back to your hand, summon a monster from deck, and then you go trigger Magnamut to and then face to add Druid Sword from your deck to your hand. So you get basically 2 Bistals plus plus whatever you searched off the Healy. Nib is just a really good card in this deck. This card's very good in this deck. The only reason we were maining this originally, but the only reason we're setting it now is because Evenly just seems to have a better matchup spread compared to it. But this card does hit a lot of decks in this format, especially and the decks it's good against it's very good. So you can just drop Nib onto your opponent. You give him a fat token, and because all your Mikanko's do Battle Reflection, you just give him if you give him a big enough token, you just kill him like 2 attacks. Very good card in this deck. This first spells you have 3 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, just generic spell chart removal. Then we have the trap card. So first of all, the first card is Peekaboo. Very standard. This card is like really good in this deck because all your monsters are different types. Also just Floodgate. However, the other interesting Floodgate we're playing is Imperial Iron Wall. So what this card does is kill our our worst matchup. So one of our worst matchups is branded. Also some runic variants. This card basically lets Healy become unoutable. Because the reason Brand is such a difficult matchup for us is the fact that Mirror Jade by itself solos the Healy lock because it doesn't target or destroy the Healy. This prevents it from being banished, which means they can't out it. This also prevents them from using Grangoyle, so they can't summon Lulu in order to actually negate the Healy. So if you flip this on your opponent, unbranded, they just cannot out your Healy, which is very strong. It's also really good against against Cash, because obviously it's Cash. Also predicts different evenly matched, which is one of the biggest weaknesses of the deck. Backer removal, basically mass backer removal does kind of screw this thing over, and this prevents one of the most popular ones right now, which is evenly. Very good card. I've been loving it. It also stops runic spells. It stops a lot of things. Also because Mayo says if your opponent the monster you summon back with it gets banished if it leaves the field. This doesn't. Basically, having Iron Wall makes it not be able to be banished, which is very good. So you can continuously revive it no matter what. I've loved that card. It's been great. That's basically it for the profile. I'm boiling hot in this card right now. I think I'm gonna faint at this point. Thanks for watching, I guess. I don't know why I made this video still. Oh dear god, it's so hot in here.